Hi there, Stan Phelps, Bed Talk number 5. Want to tell you two stories, one about a guy named David and one about a woman named Stacey. Totally unrelated. Now, the David is not David Rendell, who's my Pink co-author who started this concept of Bed Talks. I want to take you all the way back to 1860 when David McConnell was born in upstate New York. Now, David thought originally he wanted to be a mathematics teacher, but decided instead to go into business. And he started selling books door to door. And a couple of years in, he decided he was doing okay, but he wanted to mix it up a bit. And he went to his local pharmacist, and with the aid of that pharmacist, created his own perfume. And he created these small vials of perfume. And then when he would go door to door, he would entice the customer to say, if you let me in and let me show you the books that I have, I'll give you this small little vial of perfume. And what he learned very quickly is that his customers actually adored the perfume, but they remained pretty indifferent about the books. And so David cast the books aside and he started the California Perfume Company. And he concentrated solely on cosmetics, selling door to door. A number of years later, after pioneering that door to door selling cosmetics, he changed the name of the company to Avon. Who knew that the first Avon lady was actually a man? The second story is about Stacey and her husband Mark. And this was back now forward 100 years from Mark. From David. Stacey and Mark wanted to open a restaurant in Boston that focused on selling healthy food. Now, they didn't have the capital to start a restaurant, so instead they bought a small food cart, and in the north end of Boston, they started selling sandwiches out of that food cart. In fact, pita sandwiches. And it became pretty popular, and soon there were literally lines around the block for people that were interested. And what's really interesting is that Stacey started to feel bad for these people that were waiting in line. So one of the things that she did as a little extra is that each night she would take over the leftover pita, she would cut it up into pieces, she would put seasoning on it, and then she would bake it in the oven. And then she put it in small little plastic bags, and the next day as people were waiting, she would give them the little pita chips as they were waiting. Well, those chips were a massive hit. And based on that little extra, Stacey abandoned the food cart, Stacey and Mark, ended up creating what we know today, Stacey's Chips. So the moral of this story is, hey, we're in uncertain times right now. Maybe our businesses have been turned upside down. But think about ways that we can do things a little differently. Maybe even offer a little extra, because you never know when that little extra might become the next genius business idea. That's Bed Talk number 5.